Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And when I did a video about this tool, I guess I just never learned my lesson. By the time I finished the video, my hands were bleeding and I don't know. I realized, I guess, just how dangerous this is when you try to stuff a whole bunch of features onto one kind of a plier, including a knife edge on the outside, you know, and a lot of sharp corners and stuff. But anyway, and a really strong spring might have been what did it. But anyway, I didn't learn my lesson, so I thought I'd try this thing out. This is the, well, I don't think it has a name. It is listed on Amazon as the 2024 new multifunctional elbow wire stripping pliers with a spring keychain wire stripper, crimper, cable, cutters, pliers for cutting, stripping, and then shearin, Shearin, one piece. That's what this is called. It lists for about 15 bucks, and then there's a 20% off coupon. But I was just curious about it. There is not a single, if you look close, single bit of writing that you can understand as far as a name or logo or anything on here. It does have what's probably gauge versus millimeter on my old one here. It has a 10 millimeter wrench, an 8 millimeter wrench. Go through some of the features and then show you how some of them work here. It does lock because it is spring loaded, but unlike this one with that big old compression spring in the between the handles, this one apparently is inside here somewhere. So what do we have? We've got the ability to cut different sized millimeters, I guess 2.5, 3, and 3.5, 4, and 5 millimeter bolts, wire, or rods, I guess. And then down here we have crimpers. You can see two different sizes. What is this thing? That is for either separating wires. Imagine those little 4-colored or 5 or 6-colored phone line cables. You would put that through here and then you could separate them, or you can twist it. If you lock this thing up and then twist it, you could get a nice little tight wire bundle, I guess that's even. It has up here a wire cutter. Obviously the stripper, kind of a little, I don't know, nut grabbing piece, but as you can see the way it opens up, it's a little awkward. It does have a reasonable little kind of a beak on the front. See how well that closes there. This, as far as I can tell, is purely ornamental because it obviously looks like something, doesn't it? I mean, you'd have to put that big old eye in there if you built a tool that looked like, wow. Oh yeah, there's a knife edge right here. Great big old scraping knife edge. A couple of other things. This thing here is for separating wires, kind of splitting them. You can see it's, if you can, it's sharp on one end. You open this guy up. It's kind of sharp on one end and then thick, so it's like a little knife blade in there. And then this thing they're calling, this is a wire bender. So what you do is if you had a piece of wire that you wanted bent at a 90-degree angle, you would just put it right in here, just like that, and squeeze down and hopefully not damage the wire too much, I guess. You know, gouge into it. But yeah, it bends wire. I guess you could bend it at at whatever level you wanted. If you needed, I guess, a precise bend. As far as the stripping goes, I've got 12 gauge solid core here. And you have to count because these don't actually line up with the holes, I noticed. You can see that the 12 is right in between the 14, but that's 8, 10, 12 would be the third. Well, 16, 14, 12. There we go. So squeeze down. I do feel a little bit of offset, but there it is. Kind of scuffed it a little bit. If I go to a solid core, I'll also do cutting here. It's fairly good at cutting. I mean, it's not going to last long. I can feel feel that in it. Then this I think is 14, so I assume that's the 14. We'll see. Yeah, didn't get any wire, so it does strip there. Does cut fairly well there for an interesting little tool. And then of course the knife. I'm not sure what you'd do. Maybe if you scored something, I don't know. Kind of an interesting little tool. For, I think it comes down to 12 bucks then or something, 15 minus 20%. I'm always interested in all the things where they stuff a bunch of tools in, and it kind of reminded me a little of this Klein here, this hybrid plier, and I do like it when Klein does get a little creative like this. You know, as you see what they've done with these guys, that's one of my favorites. You know, and then the classic old school kind of pressed steel strippers that have all kinds of different little odds and ends stuck into them. One thing though is this doesn't have a bottle opener on it. That's what it really needs. Although this does have a bottle opener, but it doesn't. You can't use it. It doesn't seem to work. The screwdriver, I guess, or whatever that is, doesn't work terribly well. But anyway, so there it is. I didn't learn my lesson. Tried another one of these with an even bigger knife blade. But there's something about this one that it gets you. I didn't feel like when I was using this that I was going to really slip up, but boy, do you have to watch out. That is ridiculous. Absolutely crazy. I don't know who on earth besides me would buy these. But anyway, I got them so you don't have to. And with that, Doc out.